Welcome back, children. So coming to today's class, it will be on Davisson and germer experiment. See, in the previous class we have discussed about de Broglie's matter waves. Okay, he proved that every moving matter has a wave associated with it. As the mass of the particle decreases, its wave nature dominates. Now we are going to do one experiment, okay, experimental verification whether electrons have wave nature or not. So this was actually done by Davisson and germer, and using this experiment they have proved that wave nature of electrons exists. They proved the wave nature of electrons. At the same time, they could even verify the de Broglie's equation. Okay, they could prove that the de Broglie's concept of matter waves, lambda is equal to h by mv, is correct by using this experiment. So let us look into the experimental arrangement first, and then I will tell you how did they verify the wave nature of electrons. So coming to the experimental arrangement, it consists of a small electron gun. Okay, so this is a filament which is connected to a low tension battery. Okay, this is a low tension battery. So when this battery heats the filament, it is going to emit electrons. Okay, so it is by thermionic emission we are getting the beam of, number of electrons are coming out of this filament. So since these electrons may scatter in all directions, to give it a proper direction, these electrons are made to pass through an anode tube. Okay, this is an anode tube which is maintained at a very high potential. So if you are maintaining it at a high potential, these electrons will pass through the tube and come out as a beam of electrons. Okay, so we need an electron beam in this experiment. So to get an electron beam, I am using this anode tube. So connect the anode tube to a high tension battery. Okay, so this is connected to a high voltage or a high tension battery. You can increase the voltage to a very high value from 50 to 70 volts or 80 volts and so on. So this beam of electrons is made to fall on a heavy metal such as nickel. Okay, so nickel is a heavy metal. So this beam is made to fall on nickel, and the scattered beam. Okay, we know when these electrons come and hit the metal, they get scattered in all directions. So this scattered beam is observed by using an electron detector. Okay, so there is a detector around this nickel, and you can move this detector. Okay, so this is an electron detector. So you can move it along this circle. At the same time, you can even measure this angle of deflection. Okay, I'll call this angle of deflection as phi. Okay, this is the line. This angle is theta. This angle also will be theta. Theta is the glancing angle and phi is the deflecting angle. So this is the experimental arrangement, and of course the whole apparatus is enclosed in an evacuated chamber. I repeat the experimental arrangement. We have an electron gun, okay, which is connected to a low tension battery. Since it's connected to a low tension battery, the filament gets heated and emits electrons by thermionic emission. These electrons are converted into a beam by passing through an anode tube which is maintained at a very high potential. The beam of electrons are made to hit the nickel crystal, and we are going to observe the scattered radiation. That means scattered electrons are detected by this electron detector. So this was the experimental arrangement. Now look at what was the aim of this experiment. So what exactly Davisson and germer was studying is, if X-rays are made to fall on nickel, we know X-rays are electromagnetic radiation. When beam of X-rays are made to fall on a nickel crystal, this will show diffraction phenomenon. That means the scattered beam will have maxima and minima. Just like diffraction, this is called crystal diffraction. So what they tried to do in this particular experiment is, they have replaced this X-rays with a beam of electrons. So we know X-rays are electromagnetic radiation, they have the wave nature, so they are showing the diffraction phenomenon after falling on the nickel crystal. Okay, between the two layers of the crystal, they are undergoing interference, and then the resulting is a diffraction pattern. So they wanted to verify if X-rays are replaced with a beam of electrons. whether electrons also show a similar phenomenon or not. If they show a similar phenomenon, we know diffraction is because of the wave nature of light. If electron beam also shows diffraction pattern, then you can prove that electrons have wave nature. Apart from this, they not only verified it, you can know what is the wavelength of these electrons by using Bragg's equation. Okay, I'll write the Bragg's equation here. According to the Bragg's equation, for diffraction maxima, d sin theta should be equal to n lambda. Okay, order n is the order of the diffraction pattern. Here d is the distance between the lattice planes of the crystal of nickel. Okay, nickel has the lattice arrangement. The distance between two layers of nickel atoms, we call it as distance between lattice planes, which is 0.914 angstroms. And here theta represents the glancing angle. Order of the fringe for first order maxima, we take it as n equal to 1. So this was the Bragg's equation. So you know the value of d. If you can find the value of theta, n is anyway equal to 1. Can we determine the wavelength of electrons? So you can determine the wavelength of electrons. So if this wavelength of electrons matches with the de Broglie's wavelength. Okay, what is the de Broglie's equation for finding out the wavelength? It is h by mv. If I write it in terms of potential, okay, I can write it as 2mq into v, where v is the potential through which you are accelerating the electrons. So for electron, h is constant, we know the mass, we know the charge. When you put all these values, it comes out to be 1.22 by under root v angstrom, nanometer. Okay, if you want to write it in angstroms, it is 12.3 angstroms or 1.23 nanometer divided by square root of v. So if you know this the accelerated potential, you can find out the wavelength of electron. This is by using de Broglie's concept. This is by making use of diffraction phenomenon. If these two wavelengths come out to be same, then this experiment can prove that even de Broglie's concept of matter waves is correct. Again I am repeating, what was the aim of the experiment? To verify the wave nature of electron. How did they verify it? It was already known that when X-rays are made to fall on nickel crystal, the X-rays show diffraction pattern. They have replaced X-rays with electrons to check whether there is a diffraction pattern. At the same time, we are also interested in finding this angle theta. If you know theta, using Bragg's equation, you can find the wavelength of electrons. If you know the accelerated potential, you can find the wavelength by making use of Bragg's relation. If both of them come out to be similar or almost same values, then it also verifies the de Broglie's matter wave concept. Now let's come back to the experiment. So they have made the experimental arrangement. A beam of electrons was made to strike the nickel crystal and the electrons got scattered. Now rotate the detector around this nickel crystal. It was observed that for a potential of, say, okay, they have varied the potential from 50 to, so for a potential of 54 volts, this value of phi came out to be around 50 degrees. Okay, when theta phi was equal to 50, they observed the diffraction maxima. So since they have observed the diffraction maxima here, the first condition, whether beam of electrons show diffraction pattern, yes, they were showing the diffraction pattern. And what is the angle phi? The angle phi was found to be 50 degrees, where a very high peak of diffraction was observed and the accelerated potential was 54 volts. So you know the accelerated potential and you know the value of phi. If you know the value of phi, tell me what will be the value of theta. Theta plus phi plus theta. Okay, glancing angle theta, deflecting angle phi plus theta is 180. Then what will be the value of 2 theta equal to 2 theta plus 50 is 180, or 2 theta is equal to 180 minus 50, 130. Theta came out to be 65 degrees. So the first part is already verified. Electrons are showing the phenomenon of diffraction, so they definitely have the wave nature. Now verification of de Broglie's equation. If your accelerated potential is 54, 1.23 by square root of 54. This value was approximately found out to be 1.66 angstroms. Okay, it is around 1.66 angstrom or 0.166 nanometer. So this was the de Broglie's equation for the wavelength of electrons. You know the value of D, you know the value of theta as 65 degrees, and when you calculate the wavelength using Bragg's equation, the wavelength has come out to be nearly 1.65 angstroms or 0.165 nanometer. Now observe the two relations. Bragg's equation as well as de Broglie's equation has given you almost the same answer. So this proves that de Broglie's equation for matter waves is correct. So it was this one experiment explaining two concepts. First is proving the wave nature of electron. Second, proving that de Broglie's equation for matter waves is correct. So this is the significance of Davisson and Germer's experiment.